If I knew then what I know now, I think maybe my relationship with my mom would be much better. If you don't have a good relationship with your parents or siblings or family, maybe this is suggestion for you to investigate it more. Where did it started? When I actually started studying and start thinking about doing this job that I'm doing this work that I do, I did investigate in my past lives. I asked question and I actually did it with myself. Just asking question and I received a lot of answers to it. One of my past life regressions that I saw my past lives was a past life when I was here in the United States as a Native American. What I saw was me helping and falling in love in with a white man who was he was a soldier, army, who was in charge of building a railroad. I helped him because I was in love with him. That information actually got to my father, who was a chief or something, like he was the head of the tribe. He decided to imprison me. Then there was a voting, what they going to do with me. And basically the tribe voted to punish me by killing me. I knew that. But I was always so intrigued by that because I didn't completely trust my father now in this life, but I never held this kind of discomfort around him too. It's like I understood what he had to do. I didn't hold a grudge, but I always had this feeling that I don't trust my mom. And it wasn't my human being now that I am, as I always loved my mom as my mom, but I never had this close relationship with her. She didn't make it easy on me. I never had this feeling that I can go to her with my secrets, that I can be me around her. I always felt I am not good enough for her, especially for her. And I always was thinking, well, if my own mom doesn't love me, how can anybody else? As a child, especially giving all the other stuff that was happening, all the other experiences that I was having, it was tough. It was not after a few years, maybe a year ago, that I returned to study more about that when I was studying my sacred union work. And I went back asking more questions, like why I was okay with my father knowing, intuitively knowing what he did to me in a previous life, or what my father did, not necessarily that human being here. But what about my mom? And then I was shown, it's always they showing me like a little clips or information. He showed me a little clip when I saw I was in a tent and I observed through the cracks of the tent somehow. I observed my mom saying that she needs to protect her other children. She did not, or I didn't perceive her doing nothing to protecting me, because she had to protect the other children. Even though I understood what she was doing, and I understood why she was doing, but it's still, I understood now why I always had this mistrust. Like why I didn't feel safe, like spiritually safe around that. I did feel physically safe around her. I just did not have that connection. And I understood why I was blocking that connection. Because I still remember what happened before. It didn't help that she always held my brother. My brother was everything to her, and I was second child, but I was always the second child. So I completely understand now why I felt this way. But maybe if I knew it before, I wouldn't be so hard on her. I realize now that I never gave her a chance. Never gave her a chance to prove herself. In addition to that, I was basically dead on arrival. I learned from my mother when I was in my late teens somewhere. She just said it in the middle of discussion. I don't know, but I can still seeing her face and like saying like in between conversation that I was born dead. I was dead on arrival. The only thing she was said, like, she didn't hear me crying. They took me away. And it wasn't until a long time that she finally heard me crying. So I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, oh, well, you were dead, basically. So what do you mean? And that shocked me. She told me that I had my cord wrapped around my neck and I basically suffocated. At that time, I guess there was no C-section. I was born normally, but I had the cord wrapped around my neck and I suffocated. Well, that explains now why I cannot have still anything around my neck. I like to V-neck. I cannot roll. I turn like, no. Necklaces, I can have it for few hours, maybe top. But I didn't know until later on, actually, when she finally told me, well, your blood was changed. They changed your blood. I'm like, what do you mean they changed my blood? What is going on here? My mother's blood was HR negative and mine was HR positive, which called hemolytic disease or something like that. And it's especially dangerous with second pregnancy. I was the second pregnancy, which in that case, mother's immune system is attacking blood cells in the baby because the immune system is acting a protector for mom and baby is a parasite. Me being me, I guess I felt it even being created as a human body, that my mom was rejecting me. Call me crazy, but it's actually proven that we remember everything. We might not understand what we remember, and we might not call it a memory. But basically, my mother's body was rejecting me the whole pregnancy, and I was practically killing my mom, and my mom's immune system was attacking me. When I was born with umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, in addition to have my mom's body fighting me, the whole time I arrived dead. My body was dead. So when people sometimes asking, a few times people asking me, well, with your abilities, there is always something happen really bad. Like, what's happened bad in your life? And I was like, nothing. Like, I don't remember anything. And then, oh, wait a minute. I was dead on arrival. So maybe that's caused my abilities? I don't know. And during my sacred union, investigation and research, I ask, like, okay, so we understand now that sometimes the soul or the energy being that it is will choose the parents. And yes, this is still true. But when I was, well, thinking about my mom and say, well, I guess my being me choose these two parents. And suddenly I was told, no, I choose the baby. And that actually means a lot to me. That went right through me. Because this put attention back on me instead of my parents. And it means a lot to me. So for my being said, no, we choose you, not the parents, not to be born in this family, we choose you. That shifted something in me in a very profound way. But still, if I understood then that whatever I'm feeling, it's not necessary from this life, she didn't help. Maybe she knew it too. Maybe it was a combination. She didn't know how she feeling and why she feeling, and me didn't know why I have this kind of spiritual distrust, not a physical. I loved my mom, and I felt my physical needs were taken care of. She took good care of me. It was the spiritual. It was my energy being side in the sacred union. Didn't trust my mom's, I guess, energy being because it remembered. It remembered what happened before. Why I am saying all of this, why I'm sharing this with you. If you do not have a good relationship with your parents or your family, try to dig deeper. Maybe it's not just in this lifetime. Maybe it's something from a previous lifetimes. Maybe it could be explained and changed. If you know what happened, if you have that information, it's all about the information, all about understanding your life. And I believe so that's what future holds. Once we remembered who we are and we remember how to heal ourselves, we can use that. We can use that information and shift perspective, shift point of view. I never gave her a chance. Would I change something now? Absolutely. These are her rings. I might just change many things and we might get somewhere. But I will never know now. Because right now I have her energy being, I have her soul, I can talk to her. But it's not the human body anymore. On the human side of the experience, I will never have. But if you still have your parents or whoever you're having issues with, these issues might started a long time ago before you existed. And in this lifetime, it's still time to fix it. If you need help with that, you can reach me at my website, luciamitro.com. You can schedule your sessions. If you need me, you can find anybody else or do it yourself. But I'm here to help. I love you. And Mom, happy birthday. For July 4th is her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you.